Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That's Ian Boyd. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and head to Inside Texas. Use that first link in our description. Use that QR code at the top of the screen. Join for $1, then you'll get 50% off for your first year. Great time to join. Bunch of great intel over at Inside Texas recruiting. We'll have some team info up as well. We've got baseball portal, which has been fun to track. I would expect some basketball news today, the schedule variety as well. So lots of fun stuff to talk about over at Inside Texas. So make sure you come join and get involved in the action. Quarterback recruiting. Always.
Wait a minute. Ian, why do you have a scowl on your face?
I am watching the littlest one. So
that's okay. She's a champion. You're good. I want to see. I've seen her walk back and forth twice. I want to see some glow in your eyes. I want to see you take some of his rosy cheeks and put them on yours. It's going to be a good day, Tater. I promise.
I'm going to hear terrible sounds behind me indicating massive cleanups.
Oh, bless that little girl's heart. You let her do what she wants.
Hey, as long as it's all centered in one area, you can live with that. But, quarterback recruiting, to bring us back into football.
Here we go.
We could see some news today. Texas' top target in the 2028 class is Neiman Lawrence. He is at the opening up in Oregon. He is going to announce, I think, later this afternoon, maybe early evening with CBS Sports. And Justin, one of the things with Neiman Lawrence, and therefore one of the things with Texas quarterback recruiting, we know they're very, very particular about how many offers they give out at two quarterbacks in any class. They had a good amount of quarterbacks in Austin in early June. That was, guys from New Jersey, guys from Texas, guys from, I think, California as well. And none of them left with an offer. But Neiman Lawrence, who entered with an offer, was there and seems pretty indicative about what the Longhorns think about Lawrence as they get into the tail end of this recruitment.
So I'm starting to pick up a pattern with these high-end 4- and 5-star quarterbacks in Texas. When they see an available spot in Austin, they operate at a different level. Diabell knew if he didn't get to Austin and throw the football in front of Sark, he was not going to pick up an offer. That scared him. Neiman Lawrence tripped to Texas over a year ago to earn a scholarship offer throwing at camp. So he was safe. So, Joe, why did he come back on May 31st to another camp to throw again? Why? Because he wanted the spot, because he knew there were a dozen quarterbacks from across the country, highly rated, that were going to be in Austin that had the opportunity to outshine him and get that scholarship offer, because Lawrence knows, like everyone else, a Texas quarterback offer is probably the most rare offer in college football right now. So Lawrence, this is chess, guys. Lawrence knew exactly what he was doing. And we talked to these kids coming out of the camp. Every single one said the same thing, Neiman Lawrence. We had a couple other names mentioned, but Neiman Lawrence was the most consistent name. This kid already had an offer, and he was so worried about other guys potentially infringing on his opportunity and picking up an offer that he showed up, showed out, and now, what was it, 24, 48 hours later, he had a commitment date ready to go? Man, I'm loving Neiman Lawrence in Texas today.
Miami, Michigan, I think, Texas A&M.
Notre Dame really likes him. Hey, that one, actually, he never visited Notre Dame. If that kid would have popped into South Bend, this recruitment may have changed a little bit. But it's Texas. Or it should be Texas. Should be.
We got RPMs on that front for Lawrence. And one of the things, all this film that you see on the screen right now, it was at Miami Northwestern, one of the better programs in that region. He's playing at American Heritage this upcoming fall, which is where Diabell's from.
Northwestern's Bridgewater, right?
Yes, but I don't think, after doing some research, that they're going to overlap, which would have been pretty fun, I think, for Texas fans to see him playing under Bridgewater.
No kidding.
But,
sorry to interrupt, but that sounded familiar.
But he'll be at American Heritage. And Ian, you did some research on Lawrence. And whenever you watch quarterbacks, you look at the full game to see what they're doing. I think you've heard me talk about this before. Big stadiums stand out to me on Huddle, and if you saw that 305 one, that's where that's Pitbull Stadium. That's I think where they have the Miami State champion, or excuse me, the Florida State Championships. But you got to watch one of his playoff games. And what were some of your takeaways from seeing Neiman Lawrence operate?
His passing skill is unreal. If you go in, you're kind of blown away watching it. Just how quick he makes his decisions, how quickly he gets the ball out. Like he has a very quick release. He's flicking the ball out left and right. You see him put it in small windows on like spread passing plays. It's like some of the more higher level stuff. This is the one that should have won the state championship game. But then they
gave him maneuvering the pocket there, keeping his eyes downfield and hitting the guy on a seam with instep. That was beautiful.
He scrambles and runs way less often than you would think. Every time you see him do it, you're like, yeah, he kind of looks like he'd be good at it, right? He's like 6'1". He's pretty well 205. Built. Yeah, he looks like he'd be like a solid runner. And he is, but he doesn't do it very much. They do a lot more. Just they run RPOs. They run like higher level RPOs. His skill is pretty shocking.
Okay.
And he's only a sophomore. This is his sophomore film.
I want Ian to pick apart my comp. You know, I did the 3-headed comp, which I'm going to start doing that more and more with some of these players because it's fun. I did a 3-headed comp, Ian, and you're here to completely trash me and kill each one of them. So I'm going to tell you what I got. I got the body of – go ahead.
Yep, I understand. Go ahead.
The body of Jalen Hurts, the mechanics of Justin Herbert, and the mind of Russell Wilson. Her head just goes like this. She knows how good that analysis is. Ian, break it down. Where am I right? Where am I wrong?
Jalen Hurts is the one that gives me the most pause.
It's that frame. I think he's going to be 225, 230 in the NFL. I think he's going to be a little bit taller and just be – because that's what Jalen looked like in high school. He was 6 foot, 205, 210, just a dense Gary Johnson-esque type body.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't think he's going to be squatting 600 pounds.
No. I also don't think even if he approaches that build, I don't think he's going to be about that life like Hurts is.
Do you see? I don't think Hurts runs a lot. I think –
Not now.
Not now. No. I'm not. Yeah.
He was a 1,000-yard rusher in college.
Okay. Yeah. In college. I guess that's a little bit deceiving because, you know, he runs when he needs to for the Eagles, which is, I think, what Neiman does. He runs only when he needs to. That's kind of the comp there, too.
But he does the tush push.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole other thing.
He's pile driving.
You just like saying tush. That's a whole other thing.
All right, he's got – let's see here. Oh, just scroll so far down for rushing stats. Hurts has run the ball 150 times almost every year with the Eagles. Last year was 105.
I don't know. That kind of sounds like a pocket passer that scrambles about 4 or 5 times a game for 17 games.
I don't think that math adds up.
I think that maths pretty well.
Maybe
6 to 7. 17 by times 6. 17 times 7.
At least one of the things with Lawrence is, you know, from watching the full game, Ian, it sounded like you saw him work in there's no offense in high school. It's going to be like a college offense, but stuff that has analogs to Texas that'll help set him up for success.
You know, I don't know that it even matched. I don't know that it even matched Texas's offense that much, but it was much more complicated and sophisticated than a typical.
I think that's what Joe meant.
Yeah,
high school off. Yeah, but it wasn't like he was reading like post to over like like Sark would want a lot. The RPO part will be pretty consistent. Also, his composure was interesting to watch. They got in a dogfight in the championship game against Reigns. I don't know what school that is. I assume it's another Miami area school. And they like were controlling the whole game, but they kept failing in the red zone.
Ian wanted to go there today. All right.
And then towards the end of the game, he threw a pick where he just threw a ball too shallow and got picked by an underneath linebacker trying to force it. And then he threw another pick on 4th and 1 where this enormous defensive lineman dropped out in his own blitz and like one-armed his pass that would have been a first down. And so his team got in big trouble. And then he gets the ball back with about 2 minutes left, down a touchdown, makes a quick throw, and then makes that play that was in the highlights where he's got nothing going. He slips forward in the pocket. Everyone sucks in, and then easy. Just all of a sudden, it looks like the game is over. So there was a moment in the game where he seemed kind of rattled. And then he makes one of the coolest, easiest, nearly game winners.
That's when that play happened?
I've seen. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot cooler. The context to that is much, much cooler.
And then they lost anyway because they couldn't stop the other team. Yeah, I think they were totally gassed on defense. But
maybe PK had given them some tips.
He took some shots, too. They didn't protect him at all in this game. Like, I didn't get to see him throw deep hardly ever because he was usually, if the ball was not out in an instant, he was getting buried.
I mean, Joe, is Bryson at Northwestern or is he at American Heritage? Bryson Wright.
I don't know off the top of my head. Let me see. Mandarin, which is in Jacksonville.
When in the world did they throw together?
Probably at some camp or some event.
Okay.
But Mandarin's where Jamie French, Carson Beck, Tramel Jones.
No, I know. I know that. I was just we had seen him throwing to Wright. I didn't know if Wright had come from Northwestern a year ago and transferred or something because I thought that those two were connecting.
Okay. It may have been like an OT7 thing. I bet they're on one of the same Florida teams. But
because Bryson Wright becomes target apparat number 1, like he becomes numero uno on the big board. And if you get Lawrence, that right there is a good help.
Yeah, without a doubt. As far as Justin, spreading some of the quarterback, I guess when you look at a chart, the stars kind of fluctuate. It's hard to go 5-star, 5-star, 5-star in the quarterback room, especially in modern college football. This is a high 4-star, top 70 player right now. This is the type of quarterback you expected Texas to land in the 2028 class after adding someone like Ty Nutson in the 27 group.
Absolutely. No. Sark has he has a schedule. He has a pattern. They get the big boy one year and they get a good developmental guy that they can rely on the next. Because you never want to, knock KJ Lacey or Trey Owens or Ty Nutson, but 5-stars don't like joining and following 5-stars that close together, especially at the quarterback position of all positions. And so this is Texas. This is kind of just how they operate. Like I'll tell you right now, like I could see Texas if they land Lawrence today, that's a big get. In 29, I could see him going maybe a little bit more in state. Allen's Ty Schnell, who came to camp and looked pretty good and has been picking up some nice offers in the last few months. 2029, that might be the bridge to a Ty Schnell that could come in and that opens up 2030, which is ridiculously loaded with quarterbacks. And I don't know why I know so much about the 2030 cycle, but I do. And you got kids like Briggs Berlin. You got kids like you got some really high-end kids. The Tulsa OC, his son, Caden Barbay, might be a 5-star, like big lefty 5-star. And so it's unique how Sark has a pattern with this. He'll go big in one cycle. He'll go developmental in the next. And we'll see that with KJ Lacey. Look what he's done in this offseason. KJ looks different. KJ looks bigger, he looks stronger, and he looks way more confident, just in case he does get thrown into a game, unexpectedly in 2026. This is the pattern for Sark and Milwee and those guys, and you can kind of see how these things play out over the years. And, And so, I tried to forecast the next 3 quarterback cycles. So good luck with don't hold that against me.
So Neiman Lawrence, they consider a 5-star kind of player.
Yes. Neiman will be a 5-star by the time.
I think so. I don't understand why. I don't know what.
Because because he's not 6'5", 225. I think a lot of times they look for the big stereotypical big gun type quarterback and may ding others. Like, he's barely 6 foot, Ian. Like, there's some things there that he needs to grow into. And he's just now going into his junior year.
Recruiting quarterback evals are the dumbest thing in the world.
Oh, you got to explain that.
Like the recruiting rankings of quarterbacks are consistently just garbage, just absolute garbage. Because at every other position, if you just go find the obvious athletic measurables,
you can go chalk.
And how guys move and how big they are and what they look like, then you're going to do a good job. And quarterback is not like that. And they treat it like it's like defensive tackle, and it's not at all.
Well, you know why they treat it like defensive tackle, though.
Because they don't know how. I think they don't know how to do it the other way.
Well, I think it's a mixed bag.
Think of someone and trust me, I love the heck out of Bryce Underwood, but like Bryce Underwood ended up being the number 1 overall prospect, not because he was reading defenses in a really complicated manner, and not to say that he can't, but it was the fact that he was, 6'5", 230 and could throw the football pretty darn well. And it's like, oh, well, if he gets it together, this is Anthony Richardson, which I don't know how good that is either.
It's not good.
Yeah, I just the athleticism focus on quarter. You're just saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ian, you kind of mean like they look at it like other positions, be like, oh, that pass looked really good on his huddle, and he's really athletic. Wow, he's really good. When there's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's a mental position.
Yeah, very, very. That it's the most mental position in football. Period. And that's the problem with the ranking system is they don't always know what's between the ears when they're giving him a 5-star, giving him a 4-star. A lot of it's on the physical attributes, like Joe's saying, hey, he just made a beautiful pass, this, that, the other. They don't know what's between the ears. And you know how many examples we can come up with? Colt McCoy. Is there a more cerebral quarterback we've ever covered? Really, think about it. He was a 2-star. Patrick Mahomes. He created the off-platform style that everyone is trying to mimic it or at least add to their bag. He was a 3-star with 4 offers. And so I'm with Ian. I think it's very hit and miss. But that's what I love about Sark's style, Texas style. Hey, we've seen you on tape. We've even, we want to see what you look like on this field. We want to see what you look like under our circumstances, under our terms, because I know they throw a lot at those quarterbacks during those camps just to see how they react. And so I'm with Ian. I like Texas' approach to it, but I think the overall message is Ian's right. I think it's so hit and miss, and they just don't know what's between the ears a lot of times.
I'm not criticizing Sark's approach.
No, I know you're not. You're
evaluate
overview.
Yeah, the way that they rank these guys, I think I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're totally out of their depth trying to evaluate these quarterbacks, because I consistently see rankings that are like, it's just like what you're saying. It's like whoever's got the biggest arm and the best frame and the fastest 40, and it's just really dumb.
Like when they switched Dante Moore and Arch Manning. Remember, Arch was the number 1 guy forever. And then at the very end, they decided to bump Dante Moore. Or was it Nico Amaliva? It might have been Amaliva.
Because I can understand Dante, but Nico was the one where it's like, what are we doing here?
They bumped him.
You're watching Fernando Mendoza is winning the Heisman and dominating and going number 1.
And he couldn't walk on at Miami.
And that's not like people will be like, well, sure, there's lots of guys like that, so some of them slip through the cracks. It's like a lot of them. It's like Cam Ward was like that.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes was like that. Baker Mayfield was like that. Drew Brees was like that. Tom Brady was like that. So
you're just naming the greatest quarterbacks that have thrown the pill around.
Aaron Rodgers was like that. Josh Allen was like that. Josh Allen was even huge and fast and strong. And I just don't. I trust Sark. I don't think if anybody gets mad at any point about where Neiman Lawrence is ranked relative to other, don't give a flip. It does not matter. Those things are useless.
This is one of those things where we talk about like offer lists being indicative of talent, and there are some schools like that just blanket offers. You throw the net out, and if there's a fish in that net, okay, that works. They don't always do that with quarterback, though. Like, that's a position they know that they're going to have to dedicate capital to. They're going to have to manage egos, and they're going to have to bring in good players. And I feel like that's one where if you see offers from the playoff teams, that says a lot about what they're really thought of as prospects as opposed to maybe what the rankings say. Because, I mean, if I see, what was it? We used to see like Utah linebacker and defensive back offers in Texas, and we're like, oh, hey, wait, what are we waiting on?
Because certain programs were just a little better than others at the early evaluation and early assessment and building of the relationship.
Yeah.
Utah, when it came to those kind of types. Stanford, when it came to tight ends and offensive linemen. Oklahoma State and TCU in the late 2000s, early 2010s. If TCU offered you as a freshman, you were getting 35 offers by the time you were a senior. They were so good. Gary Patterson and that staff was so good at early evaluations.
Some of it is also development. Like 100%. Utah just knows how to develop those types of players.
They knows how to identify what he wants and develop them.
But somebody else could get the same player and not make anywhere
100%. You're right. But for this argument purpose. Because those are the guys I would work with early in covering. Oklahoma State and TCU were notoriously early on offers in East Texas when I started because they knew there were some hidden gems there that if they could sneak them past Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M, that they were going to have them. And in the portal era now, those guys would just trade up and go to a bigger, better school. Back then, that's the reason Oklahoma State was, a game away from the national championship in 2011, 2012, something like that? Like, they lived. TCU went to a natty. Like, these programs lived on these early evaluations and hoping they could get them before the big dogs found them.
I may make one quibble about 2011 Oklahoma State because wasn't that Zach Robinson? Wasn't he old?
No, that was the year they lost to Iowa State on a Thursday night, and they would have beaten Stanford in the national championship, I think, or they did beat Stanford in the Fiesta Bowl, and they would have probably lost in the national championship. Or
wow.
That would have been a Bama team.
It was the old
Bama team. They would have lost.
Zach Robinson wasn't old, and he was younger than that. It was before that, but it was the old
Zach
guy.
Robinson was a senior then because Zach Robinson was throwing pick sixes in 2009 when Texas still
Brandon Whedon.
2010 and 2011 were Brandon Whedon.
Hey, Mike Gundy got Brandon Whedon drafted in the first round.
Justin Blackman helped too, I think.
Yeah, that was a big part of it.
Come on, man. Brandon Whedon.
Before we keep going with some more recruiting stuff, let's hear a word, from Andre the Lawyer.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results. Andre the Lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
One more thing on recruiting to go over. Cornerback has become an interesting position last night. Dylan McGee committed to Penn State. Lots of effort from Matt Campbell's program with the DeSoto Star. Texas has John Meredith. They have, for now, Greedy James. And we're tracking another decision coming in the next couple of days, Justin. That's from Montre Jackson. You got to talk to him a little bit last night. What did Montre have to tell you about his upcoming decision?
He's ready. I think he's been ready. I think if a certain program would have let him do this earlier, he would have already done this. I think now is when it's going to be. I think Texas' stance with Montre is exactly where it needs to be. Look, Texas Tech came at him pretty heavy. They threw a bag. Ole Miss came at him pretty heavy. SMU, I mean, they're not There's nothing bad about SMU's recruiting pitch and their NIL. It is top notch. They do very well, especially keeping those Metroplex kids there. But I really like where Texas stands right now. Like you said, Greedy James is committed now. I'm not sure that's going to hold up. I can tell you right now, whatever the terms are with NIL and Jackson, I think it lines up with Texas. So I don't think that's going to be a hurdle, which, we've seen that with a few other recruits, and notably like Cade Hogg that happened earlier this week. So I think Montre has wanted Texas since he was a kid. I think he waited a long time before he got offered. He picked up like 28 offers before Texas called him, and he didn't hold it against him. And then Will Muschamp made a really strong push in the spring, late spring, with him and Dylan McGee both. They really wanted both those guys. Losing McGee's that stung a little bit. That was one of the better athletes in the freaking country. But Jackson, my goodness, we're looking at a 6'1", 185-pound kid that runs a 10-3. Like that's what you want. He's top 20, DB in the country. I think this trends well for Texas. I think SMU is going to make one final push, probably offer some Dogecoin, Bitcoin. There's no, something from the Louisiana Downs with the Mustangs that are running there. Who knows? But I really do like where Texas and Jackson stand today. And there's two decisions next Monday. Don't forget Jason Johnson, the big defensive tackle out of Humboldt, Atascocita. He's supposed to come off the board, and so I think the Horns might be in a great position there too.
This question, Greedy James going to flip soon to LSU. We have picks in for that, I believe. That's kind of where we're expecting this one to go. If Texas does get Montre in a couple of days at a ceremony, right? Saturday is when he's planning to come off the board.
27th, whatever.
That'll have Meredith in the class if Greedy does flip. And then if Montre picks Texas, means Montre's in the class. What may be next for the Longhorns at corner if they trade one defense, or they trade one cornerback for another in a couple of days?
We're watching Brandon Sherrard, the Alvin Shadow Creek 4-star cornerback. That's the kid that a couple years ago, Eric and I went out there just to hang out with Chris Stewart. They had a few other prospects to look at. We see this kid that was on the JV at the beginning of the season starting on the varsity as he was a third stringer going into the year. That's the best third string corner I've ever seen in my life. He was 6'2" and 180 and could move easily. Wound up being a really good player for them last year. Texas offered. They had him in for an official visit in June. LSU loves him, and they've done a real good job being consistent with him. Houston has too, and so that's another one to watch. But I think at the end of the day, if Texas pushes the right buttons, Brandon Sherrard might be the third take there. And he comes off the board July 1st. So we'll get a little bit of clarity by the end of the month.
Ian, anything big on cornerback recruiting you want to add?
Always seems to work out pretty well.
Tell us how excited you are to watch John Meredith play for Texas.
Reasonably excited.
We haven't got a corner like him in a while. Or we haven't seen a corner like him in like 5 to 7 years.
Jahdae Barron.
No.
Not as a prospect.
Jahdae was not even close. Not close.
Well,
I think as a
they were in
prospect,
two different leagues.
Hopefully he's as good as Jahdae when he's actually at Texas.
Oh my gosh. Now that would be the secret sauce. Completely different player.
He's more like
he's shutting down a side of the field, whereas Jahdae was playing 5 different positions.
I'm trying to.
Johnny's the cerebral one. John
he's a little more like Cedric Griffin, right? He's like tall, long.
Yes, tall, very tall, long wing, huge wingspan, 6'2", 6'2.5". It's the mindset, Ian, that is scary good with John. Like it was almost, what it reminded me of? He's the best corner prospect in high school I've seen since Derek Stingley Jr. Like it was like he was born to do that. Like he was raised, like Anthony Hill was raised by a father that played linebacker in college. So he was kind of born into that. John Meredith just was born into playing cornerback. He has the best mindset, the best mentality for a man on the island. He's going to shut down an entire side of the field. Jahdae was the much more cerebral, much more versatile, could do so many things, could be a leader in that backfield. John's going to focus on his guy. He's Mr. Cat coverage. He's going to follow that cat, and whoever that cat is not going to catch many balls in that game.
If he is close to Stingley, then that's because Stingley as a
He's not
prospect.
the athlete, like the pure speed athlete, but from a tenacity, from a technical, they're on par.
I don't want to say we knew that was going to go to LSU, but Texas at least tried with Derek Stingley. Even though he tried, they weren't going to get a talented player like that out of Baton Rouge, but they tried. I think they maybe got him on a visitor too. And so I remember. Go ahead.
Wasn't he on the greatest college football team of all time?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. 6 picks, 15 pass breakups as a freshman.
Yeah, and
I think Dad played corner in college as well,
and he returned punts too, and did that really well. Stingley as a prospect was amazing. As a college football player is amazing, and now as a pro player.
He's the best corner prospect we've covered in 15, 20 years, Joe. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
And for you to be putting him in the same conversation.
It was like every 5 to 7 years we see a guy like that. Like I think Devin Sanchez has some of that, but we haven't seen it yet. John Meredith's going to play as a true freshman.
Pack knows a lot about DB technique in this scheme in particular. And he is definitely high on Meredith. Not high so much on Sanchez, actually.
Telling you.
He says Sanchez has some sloppy techniques.
John is he's really good. He's really good.
Got a couple questions or comments. Linebacker recruiting. Yeah, this is.
What is that, Joe? Is Texas taking linebackers this class? I don't know.
They need a couple because that room is thin as it is right now, and they're gonna see Rasheem Biles, maybe even Brad Spence, whatever you want to call him, and categorize him. He's phasing out as well.
Yeah,
some of these guys are just gonna graduate. I think just Justin Cryer may do the same. So
yes.
This is an already thin room, and they need to address numbers. And we can explain the circumstances of individual recruitments, and I think we did that really well over at Inside Texas when it came to Hogg, but he still has 0 linebacker commits. Texas still has 0 linebacker commits in the 2027 class. That's tough. It's not something.
It's tough in June. It's much tougher in October, November. Because now they're forced to flip somebody.
Yeah.
Unless a late senior eval like a Rocky Cummins pops up, they're going to have to flip somebody. They're going to have to try to flip Jakeem Gouda, who's probably the best linebacker in my opinion, at least inside. Toa Satelli, they're going to have to try to keep flipping him. That's the kind of position I think they're in right now. Like I think they'll probably flip Gerald Bridges. Charlie Williams has been on that one. There's something there. We'll see more there, but yeah, linebacker recruiting. I texted Joe yesterday. It's terrifying, and then there's some undertone jokes there. But I mean, God, fans, we're the same way. Like and I think the staff is kind of the same way. They're kind of trying to figure stuff out. But here's something, Joe. I want to ask you, Joe. When they knew what they were going to offer Cade Hogg NIL, did they know it was going to? I mean, they had to know it wasn't going to get the best response. Right? The number is discussed early. And then it becomes a negotiation during the official visit because Texas usually doesn't bring up NIL until the OV. I'm just curious about that and kind of what our future in that's going to look like. Like, hey, we took the commitment early and we waited until, OV to actually agree on terms.
Right.
It's dangerous.
I feel like for schools that have, general managers and capologists, I guess to say, like, they have an understanding, and of course the kids do too, about what the ballpark is. But sometimes the nitty gritty is where the differences come to fruition. And it's not like he was a unpursued player. Like he had SEC offers. He picked up a Michigan offer yesterday, which
I think he's going to. I bet he goes to Texas Tech.
Kyle Whittingham making an offer to a linebacker in Texas. What were we just talking about?
I think he's a loss. I think he's good. I love a throwback linebacker, inside guy from the Houston area. Are you kidding me? It reminds me of Scott Derry, the legend.
We don't need to mention him.
If you give me an opportunity to get you on that, I will. Because you're the biggest Scott Derry fan I've ever met in my life.
Derry was pretty good.
Gary started a little bit. You don't remember those days.
Oh, he was pretty good. He was a pretty
started
good
a
player.
little bit.
We got some good comments bringing up recruiting. Williams David's back. I think Cade Phillips and Samari Matthews have the physical traits, and regarding Phillips' athleticism, but no Texas defensive back has a combination of athleticism and DB skills as John Meredith. It's a bold take, but you know what? I buy it. I think Cade Phillips with some refinement can get there this year because he's got some physical traits that are pretty special, including some speed. At least, by this point in his career. And again, John Meredith is going to be playing high school ball this year, so it's tough to put him on that type of pedestal. But I think Cade Phillips as a prospect may have him on physical traits, but I do think the read and react and instincts that Meredith have, at least as a prospect, might be a touch ahead at this point.
They're similar in their tenacity, in their mindset. Cade kind of has that too, kind of that edge a little bit about him. And Cade's a little bit more, going to be the veteran by the time John gets there. That's going to help him out a lot too, because we saw Cade make a jump last year. We're going to see him make another jump this year. But from a prototype early on evaluation, it's not the same. He's right. I mean, he must have just downed a Big Red because he's bringing truth. John Meredith's just a different type of breed of cornerback. He's just different, and we've been saying that, and we may not see another one like him for another 5 to 7 years. And so you just hope he gets on campus and early and often, and everything works out.
This is a little bit of a recruiting, just a roster question, kind of in the news of the past couple of days.
It's a good question.
How does the college 5-year rule affect the current players, and particularly the red shirts?
I know one. I think this is going to help Jordan Johnson rebel. Remember, he lost his red shirt in a very, very negligent, silly way early on. And I think this is the type of deal that you could get another year from a guy like him.
I think basically if you just use your 4th year, and I think I brought this up with Bucky and BK, and I'm going to mention a basketball player, but Kendall Weaver played 4 years of college basketball, and he still entered the portal after his season was done because he thought the 5 to play 5 was going to be coming down, and it might give him another opportunity to play college basketball because his NBA prospects, I think he's realistic, aren't all that big. But the NCAA said, if you've already played all 4, you're not getting a retroactive extra year. That probably came from literally every single coach in college sports who said, I just went through COVID and I'm tired of roster BS. Yeah. Like if you just tack on 1 year to everybody I already have, that's pretty easy. So I think, I'm trying to think of this maybe from like the perspective of Jordan Coleman, who redshirted, played in a game or 2 last year. I think nothing really changes for him. I think I'd have to look it up. Like, I don't think he has 5 more years of eligibility. I think he still has 4 more years of eligibility, including this year, but I'll have to double check. And we kind of talked about, Evan has written about, the players it helps and the sports it helps too. Like somebody, Chris Bennett brings this up just to bring it up to softball. And I mentioned this yesterday on Bucky and BK as well. Like your earning power as a women's college athlete for a lot of athletes is a lot larger than it is as a professional athlete. So I think you're going to see a lot of women's sports players stick around, except for the ones that probably get some good sponsorship money outside of their professional like sports contracts. For football, though, I think it does help schools like Texas who are willing to sell the education thing, have a strong pull on in-state kids, not a magnet like a lot of places, but a strong pull. And they can get players who they feel will develop well, won't mind maybe waiting around a little bit, can get their degree, can get stuff at Texas, and then maybe as a 5th-year guy perform pretty darn well. I think the big deal may not be for development, just because if you weren't going to play or if you were going to play a little bit in your freshman year, what's 2 games compared to like 6 to 8? Because if you're doing that, then you're seen as a starter or a high-level contributor. I think it's big just because it removes for football like this, hey, you better play me or else I'm going to sit out thing. And I think that's kind of the main point of this, as opposed
That
to, oh, we need better physical development for our players.
It's also structure.
Yeah.
It gives a semblance of structure. In this day and age and how fast college football is moving, that is endearing to fans and to people like us. Like, give us some stability. Sit on something and let's see what the sample looks like over a 5-year period instead of changing it every year, over year, and trying to fix it. I think this simply lends structure to coaches' roster managing, roster building. Hey, okay, we know exactly what we can do with this 5 years. We know exactly how many years when this guy comes in we can do with him. I think it just helps the coaches build out the roster better. Need more structure.
I think it does. It makes me not want to take any 3-star guards and linebackers in the cycle.
And just rely on the portal?
And just rely on the portal, because they're going to get one more year to go play somewhere and get good on somebody else's dime, and then just pick them off later. Any position that's like very development and rep heavy, which includes quarterback, it's like this just makes the portal even more rich. Because you could go play linebacker in G5 or FCS ball for 4 years and get pretty good, and then transfer later or earlier.
The best example was that linebacker out of South Dakota State, Jabril Cox, went down to LSU, had that one good year, got drafted, playing in the NFL now. Like, that's, to me, the perfect example of that. Like, because he was at a 2-star, 3-star, probably didn't get any NIL, anything like that. Had a great year, smaller school, cashed out, got one good year with a big school, got drafted, living the dream.
You're seeing it in basketball all the time. All these basketball dudes are trying to find extra eligibility.
Oh, they're trying hard, and boy, they are getting it pushed back in their face.
But you get really good playing at Drake or whatever, and then all of a sudden you can get that Kentucky 5-star payout in NIL.
Yeah.
And
not have to go to
Florida.
And not have to go to Spain to play.
Not have to go to Spain, yeah.
You're basically already a pro player. It's going to make every sport skew a slight bit older, which I think is going to help the quality. It may make playing immediately tough, though, like except for some of the transcendent talents, just because that 5th-year cornerback is a little bit different than the 4th-year cornerback than you were competing with, and that 4th-year cornerback is still there and you're competing with him as well. Some schools are going to leave early anyway, forfeit 2 years. And again, the NFL impact, hey, let me come back for my 4th year, make some NIL, and then go maybe get picked in the 1st or 2nd round. Like, it's going to change a lot of decisions for football. Basketball, I think it's going to make basketball even more portal heavy. And we know how portal heavy basketball has been over the past few years. I'm curious about the rest, especially, baseball. I don't think there's a way to read anything on it because the MLB is going to have its labor problems, and so much is going to trickle downhill from that to where I think that
terrifies me, Joe.
That's going to make a bigger impact than any eligibility thing with college baseball.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, college baseball might be incredibly popular next year.
And like I said, women's sports, because
there'll be
the pro leagues do not pay great. You can probably make more as a women's college athlete than a pro women's athlete in a lot of instances. So, I think it's gonna be good for, not just good for Texas, like, teams another year, but like good for softball and even track. You get to get another year of development with your track program before you maybe try out for whatever the Euro leagues are and go to the Olympics. So I think there's going to be a lot of different things that we have barely scratched the surface on that is going to be a positive. And structure, I think, is the big reason why it came about to be in the first place. So,
coaches need parameters.
Yeah.
Coaches want to know, if I do A, B, I get C. Like, they want that. And in college football, the last 5 or 6 years, they have none of that. Right. So it's a constant adjust, adapt, change. And those guys like to plan ahead. The best program builders are the ones that build from the bottom up, from the high school and develop and all that. They need some stability there. This is a good first sign, in my opinion.
Right.
This maybe hurts Texas though, because you
Well,
could have this.
I was waiting for that.
You could have this deal where, like in college basketball started to be dominated by the second tier resource programs that would have developed older teams. So like Gonzaga, Villanova, Baylor, Virginia.
I think you're making a point, but I wouldn't call them second tier.
It's hard
second tier
maybe 30, 40 years ago, not now.
Second tier in resources.
It's hard for me to agree with that with Gonzaga and Villanova because they're not funding football programs.
Well, no, okay. He's right with Villanova. They had 1 4-star in the entire program. Gonzaga recruits at a very high level. They get a 5-star, a couple of them every year.
They recruit, but not like Kentucky.
Yeah,
okay.
Gotcha. We know what you're talking about. Still doing well, just not on that Arkansas, North Carolina, Duke paying scale.
But producing better teams and winning.
Yes.
And we've already seen it in college football because Indiana just did it and went.
You're right.
16-0. And those Harbaugh Michigan teams were kind of like that too. Because they had a lot of low 4-star, high 3-star guys that were like 5th-year seniors when they won the title.
Experience at them.
Yeah. So because Texas is always bent towards playing sensational 5-star underclassmen on their teams, they could be at a disadvantage in an era where everybody else can get all 4 5th-year players that are better than the 5-star in the window of time in which they actually play against each other for a title.
That's been the bend, but I don't think that's what this upcoming year's team looks like.
Not this upcoming year, but
right.
Even this upcoming year a little bit, but more for the future.
I mean, there may be one true freshman starter, and if he's not a starter, he's a 6th man. Everybody else will have multiple, at least 1 year of college basketball. But I get what you mean.
Well, I'm not talking about Texas college basketball. Who cares? I'm talking about football.
Oh, okay.
Texas basketball is doing the
get old, stay old.
Old team model.
Yeah.
And NIL is helping out basketball.
All the college basketball teams eventually adjusted. Like Kentucky doesn't buy just 5-star one and dones anymore.
Right.
They go and get the best.
The all GMAC point guard of the year at a place, and he winds up being like a point guard from Canada for Michigan that wins the national title.
Yeah. But for a window of time, the college basketball title scene was being dominated by the tier of teams below the Blue Bloods who had older teams.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Dusty
and they had really good, we don't think about this enough, but Villanova, 4 of those 5 starters are still in the NBA playing.
Yeah.
They were good evaluations, and they were incredible developments. Jay Wright was an outlier, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's not a replicable model in modern college.
No,
but
you're not doing that again. And Jay knew that when he took off early.
It was replicable.
Because Baylor was. It's not now. Jay could forecast that.
Houston and Baylor both did it.
Dude, I think Houston and Baylor have a lot more in basketball involved than you think.
With
they're blue blood level, dude.
Let's swing it around, get some recruiting. Justin, what's up with Ty Knutson? His current ranking is as a 3-star. I think he should be a mid-level 4-star. Where do you see this one?
Right now, I think it's pretty accurate. I want to see what he looks like as a senior. Last year he made a big jump from his sophomore to junior year. Obviously, led his team to the state title game. You got to understand, he's I said he's got some K Klubnik to him. He's more of an athlete right now. He's a little unpolished. Milwee sees the upside. He's got athleticism. He can do RPOs. He's got a strong arm. He's got some mechanics he needs to tweak. He's got some things he needs to tweak. This is the quintessential developmental guy. DKW, that's exactly who Knutson is. Could he jump into 4-star status by the end of his senior year? Possibly. Let's see what he looks like. He's a little bigger, a little stronger this year, and he's got more confidence, obviously, going into this season. But I think 3-star is pretty much where he's ranked right now. When he was up at the Elite 11 a couple weeks ago, he was pretty much behind a lot of those guys. And that's not knocking him or his evaluation or Coach Sark or any of those guys. It's just where he's at right now. They see the projection down the road. And when it comes to quarterbacks, like we talked about earlier, we got to trust them on that.
One last thing. Speaking of quarterbacks, I got it in the title. Want to get to it just real fast because it's fun in the offseason. The NCAA EA College Sports video game is starting to release some ratings for players. Did y'all see what Arch ended up as, especially when it comes to other quarterbacks?
He's what, 91 overall?
He's 91 overall.
And there's like 10 that are rated higher?
5.
I know Dante Moore's the highest.
And then Julian
Saying, CJ Carr's on there.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Chambliss is on there.
I think
and who?
Levitt.
I don't remember seeing Levitt.
I think he's on there. But this is it's always fun because I know in Madden, all those Madden ratings adjusters try to make that pretty accurate before the year. College football, I think, is a little bit different. The one that's always going to be funny to me is that his spectacular catch is only 50. And I'm thinking, like, did they not watch the same quarterback we watched last year make a great play? Speed 89 kind of sounds right. I think
that's kind of generous, but all right.
I've seen some things that say Ryan Wingo and Ryan Niblett and Jermaine Bishop are going to be some of the faster players in the game. But this is an athletic, this is EA Sports thinking that Arch Manning definitely has some real athleticism if he's got 89 speed, 90 acceleration.
Go down a little bit. I'm going to show you the travesty. Go down a little bit.
Is it zone defense?
Kicking. I'm going to tell you something. He can secretly kick. So these rankings are a little off. If he had to kick in a pinch, I think he could. And I see his jumping is at 87. That's a good eval because this kid can dunk. I've seen clips of him dunking. And so I like that. The funniest one was Trevor Gooseby, because on Trevor Gooseby's, if you go down, he's got a 37 on catching, which is typical of an offensive lineman ranking in college football, Madden, blah, blah, blah. But can we at least acknowledge the amazing basketball players that turned into offensive tackles? Trevor Gooseby has some of the best hands in the program. He has amazing hands. So EA, dig a little deeper. You did a good job, but dig a little deeper. Trevor Gooseby has really good hands. You don't play basketball at that high level and not have some good hands.
Justin's giving away all of Texas's trick plays next year. It's going to be pooch kick with Arch. It's going to be unbalanced formation, touchdown pass to Trevor Gooseby.
Holy moly, Ian is right again.
He'd have to change jersey numbers. Speaking of Gooseby,
that's right.
Jumping 79. I think
that we've seen him do a 360 dunk, so maybe a little higher. I don't think Arch is out jumping him, and Arch is 10 points higher.
He's at least a 90 in everything but run block power, which I think is a pretty accurate representation. Just a great all-around offensive lineman who still has some stuff to work on. That's how that works. I think the Indiana left tackle, and
Arthur Smith.
There's one more. Caden Green. Those are the top 3 left tackles in the game at launch. This is fine. I think defense comes out today, but
Who's their number 1 overall? Is it going to be Colin?
Jeremiah Smith.
No, for Texas.
We'll see. I think that's a good
because where's the overall on here? Because there it is on the top.
Cam Coleman's 92. Gooseby is 94. Manning's
I bet
91.
Colin is 97. What do you want to bet?
I could see him being a tick under that.
Because of his size?
I think it was a 94 or 95. I saw this on somebody put it on the message board a few weeks ago, and I saw it. And I think that's
all I care about is if this game is better than last year's. Like the comeback was awesome. 25 was a blast. Last year's just didn't feel very well. And we're putting a lot of expectations into this one. My son is really, really looking forward to this release.
They didn't put it on Switch 2, so my son was just like, what?
I wouldn't want to play that on Switch 2. That needs to be played on a big screen.
You can play the Switch 2 on a big screen.
No, I know. You're right.
You can. The Switch.
That's right. That's right. With the little handle things on the side. Yeah. We do a PS5. My son sold his Switch. He's on a PS5.
Cam Coleman, I think he's got the highest rated thing I've seen from a Texas player. 98 jumping. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's accurate.
And then receiving, spectacular catch, 97. Yep, sounds about right. Kick return, 74. If we see Cam Coleman returning kicks this year,
I wonder what DeCorian Moore's kicking is. Because you remember how great of a soccer player he was? And then he was the punter for Duncanville for 4 years. So I wonder what DeCorian Moore has on his kicking. It's always fun because I want to, we know so many details of a lot of these kids now. And I think EA does an incredible job of like putting all this stuff together. I really do.
Oh, it looks like defense just came out.
Leonard Moore, highest rated defender. Collins 95. I think I said 97.
There he is.
Ahmad Hardy as a 96 is a bad joke.
Oh, you're gonna hold. I'm not even gonna make the joke. I can't. Colin Simmons. Colin Simmons is 95 overall. Rasheem Biles 92 overall. Jelani 90 overall.
I like Jelani. Rasheem feels a little high.
What is Jelani's speed? 90, 91. That's impressive. Colin Simmons' speed is 90, agility 92. Yeah, that's going to be somebody that you put on you use a lot in the game.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll be Lance and I'll come and I'll come to the outside and force him in, and then I'll try to push him into Colin.
Let me see if
if you're playing Texas defense, don't be Colin Simmons. Let Colin Simmons be Colin Simmons. Be somebody else, and you'll work together.
I'm usually a defensive tackle because that means I can't mess anything up.
I'm usually a safety.
Let me see.
I usually don't even control anybody.
I control the safety at all times.
Leonard Moore, highest rated defensive player. And then Colin Simmons, second highest rated defensive player.
Malachi Tony over Colin Simmons is really something.
Malachi Tony's wide receiver too in this one.
He's a slot. So
he's also spectacular.
Yeah.
He is a fun kid to watch play football on Sundays. Darian Mensah is going to enjoy throwing the ball to him.
I think I'm going to write about all these defensive ratings in just a second. So come head to Inside Texas.
You just watch this gameplay. I'm sorry, Joe. Kelson just chimed in. My bad, brother. Sell the promo.
Use that first link in our description. Use that QR code at the top left. Join for $1 and get 50% off your first year. We'll have a ton of recruiting info over these next couple of days, as well as team intel and everything related to the baseball portal, as that still has to finish up. Justin, Ian, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time on IT Live.